The camera rolled, the question was innocuous, and then a sudden shift. Kody's usual confidence faltered, production paused, and a mysterious quote vanished from the final edit. TLC's editors may snip, but sharp-eyed viewers caught the exact moment Kody Brown's composure dissolved. So that's like first base, second base, third base, yeah, no home run, okay. One stray line about his past behavior, seemingly innocent, slipped from his lips, and within seconds, he was urgently requesting a retake from host Sukanya Krishnan. What was in that edited sentence? Why did the network bury it deeper than Coyote Pass secrets? Let's rewind the footage, examine the raw transcripts, and expose the panic that proved even reality TV has strict boundaries. Janelle and Christine never knew about it. Robyn learned of it the first month we knew each other. Here's the frame by frame. Sukanya, easing him toward a playful tangent on pre-wedding experiences, asks whether his past ever blurred the church's bright lines. Kody laughs, leans forward, and half whispers a phrase, a quip so casual it might have floated by had he not immediately stiffened, eyes darting off camera. A stage light flickers, a producer's headset crackles, and suddenly, Kody's hand shoots up like a traffic cop at a busy crosswalk. "Cut. No, stop," he mutters, voice tight enough to slice paper. "You didn't take those options." No, I was a little bit wild, but I wasn't, like I was testing the boundaries." Sukanya, ever the professional, tries to coax him back, but Kody pivots, insisting that such personal matters are off limits. Crew insiders later claimed a red warning graphic blinked on the master monitor, legal flag, within 30 seconds. A floor manager hustled over, the interview changed course, and a fresh take began. What does testing the boundaries mean? That means I would kiss and hug, but no actual intimate acts. Minus the revealing phrase in Kody's earlier easygoing demeanor, viewers at home saw only a jarring splice. One moment Kody was mid-giggle, the next he was stone-faced, and the playful back and forth about youthful experiences never surfaced. Yet, in the split second before the cut, a hot mic snagged preserved the unapproved words, and some subscribers who captured early feeds swear the closed captions briefly printed them before an overnight patch erased the evidence. So that's like first base, second base, third base, and no home run. No home run. Okay. If that tiny slip could trigger such frantic damage control, seasoned fans wonder what unspoken confession the full quote might reveal and why TLC decided this particular revelation could never see daylight. Freeze frames do not lie, and the tiniest hiccup in a broadcast can shout louder than a megaphone for anyone patient enough to hit pause. The Tuesday after the episode aired, a retired librarian in Idaho posted a still shot on Facebook showing Kody's mouth mid-syllable, his lips forming an unfinished consonant while the bottom third chiron flickered. "I felt safe, and she felt safe with me. She's just an open book to me." Several grandmothers in the comments compared timestamps, and sure enough, the moment arrives exactly 12 minutes and 17 seconds into the streaming cut. Yet the digital download clocks a 2-second gap. That gap behaves like a skipped heartbeat. Background hum vanishes, Sukanya's eyebrows jump ahead half a frame, and Kody's right shoulder resets into a slightly different angle as though someone tugged him out of his seat and dropped him back in. Editors typically add a transition to hide such surgical stitches, but here they must have raced the clock, leaving raw pixels behind like a carelessly folded hymn. Janelle and Christine and Mary, I'm not safe with them, and they're not safe with me. Insiders whisper that a night shift tech received what she called a burn order, industry jargon for yanking every server copy of a flagged clip before marketing can slice promos. Unverified chatter claims a junior associate producer resisted, arguing that the slip was harmless nostalgia, only to be overruled by a senior executive citing morality sensitivities. If true, that means the quote triggered not just a routine snip, but a full internal review, commonly reserved for legal vulnerabilities, such as underage references or potential admissions of fraud. Viewers over 50 have seen this choreography before in old daytime talk shows. A guest stumbles into forbidden territory, a stage manager coughs loud enough to spike audio levels, The feed jumps, and conversation resumes as though nothing untoward occurred. But here, the repair is so clumsy that it invites scrutiny, and the very act of erasure becomes the larger story. So that's like, there were other options. There were other options that got close. Rumor now swirls that the missing footage exists on a password-locked drive with only 3 executives listed on the access log, and one of them, sources allege, resigned abruptly the morning after the red flag. What exchange could be so combustible that a corporate veteran decided to step away rather than shepherd it through cleanup? The next breadcrumbs surfaced 48 hours later, buried inside a leaked call sheet. The leaked call sheet arrived via anonymous email timestamped 3:04 in the morning and marked confidential across the header. A low-resolution phone photo of a yellow legal pad taped to the studio wall. Under the segment titled Robyn Brown, Legacy and Regrets, a handwritten addition appears in red ink. Legal hold. No mentions of pre-marriage intimacy. Expletive line struck. Consult network counsel. 2 rows down, another scribble circles a single name, Donna H., with the note, on-site clearance. Insiders speculate that Donna was the compliance lawyer hustled in mid-interview, the same woman rumored to have stepped between Cody and Sakanya during the off-camera standoff. I mean, we're talking about you being an athlete. Did you play baseball? No. Were you a football player? Yes. An unverified PA account shared on a locked Reddit thread alleges Donna demanded a private playback, pressed her palms to her temples, and muttered that the phrase carried reputational risk for both the show and for Cody's lingering church ties. That same night, according to the call sheet, a segment B was ordered, a pickup interview with Robyn to reframe Cody's teen years as harmless exuberance, stripped of any salacious overtones. Yet, when Robyn sat under the lights the next afternoon, she reportedly refused to touch the subject, calling it Cody's mountain to climb, further frustrating producers who now had a jagged gap in their narrative arc. So it's like, I was a wrestler, so you never got the touchdown, but you got some activity. Anonymous crew chatter suggests tempers flared. One camera operator said he had never seen an A-block implode so completely in his 15 seasons on unscripted television. By dawn, the word from upstairs was definitive. The line stays buried, the compliance attorney signs off, and editors stitch whatever they must to fill the silence. Viewers, though, sensed blood in the water, and forums erupted with theories ranging from secret premarital partners of unspecified gender to hush-hush settlements Cody feared would resurface. And just when chat rooms began to cool, David Woolley weighed in with a comment that lit the match all over again, insisting Cody's panic was textbook power grab behavior. His late-night post vanished within the hour, but screenshots remain. And what those screens reveal points directly to a clash the cameras never intended to capture. David's screenshot flared like a campfire in a midnight desert, his words crisp as flint. Polygamist men ruin women, allegedly saw it with my own sisters, and panic when the facade cracks. So, I wasn't respected as a mom with Cody, I was not respected as a wife. Those 9 lines, insiders whisper, were posted to a private Facebook group for former members' relatives, yet within minutes they shot across X and TikTok, clipped beneath the hashtag Cody. David, newly christened as Christine's truth-teller husband, referenced unnamed production lawyers circling the set and mocked Cody's sudden concern for morality clauses. Funny how the same guy who filmed 20 seasons of marital shuffleboard can't finish a sentence about youthful romantic escapades. The post disappeared after 40 minutes. Rumor has it, TLC's publicity team rang David's phone, reminding him of non-disparagement fine print. But the damage was done, and fans, mostly women old enough to remember daytime soaps, reverently folded the remark into their mental scrapbooks. Forums began splicing David's commentary with a resurfaced clip of his earlier sit-down, where he describes certain polygamous patriarchs, never naming Cody, who love the competition, love when the wives claw. That line hits differently now. If Cody's aborted quote hinted at boundary-breaking intimacy, David's anecdote painted the broader landscape, a culture where men allegedly pit spouses against one another. I wasn't respected as a sister wife. He thought that I was, what does he call it?
then recoil when cameras threaten to expose the mechanics. Sources close to the post-production bay claim editors debated inserting a short explanatory chyron, something bland about content removed for legal review. The idea was scrapped, a senior vice president fearing it would signal there was more to dig. Instead, the episode aired with that odd jump cut, and the network gambled older viewers might chalk it up to buffering. They underestimated the note-taking diligence of grandmothers who have DVR pause mastered. Now every retweet of David's lost post inflates speculation. Was Kody's censored comment a harmless confession, or did it allude to behavior breaching church disciplines severe enough to bar temple attendance? Reddit sleuths are chasing disciplinary council records, but so far, nothing verifiable surfaces. The mystery only deepens when Sukanya, in a radio promo taped days later, cryptically hints, there is always more left on the cutting room floor than anyone realizes. What exactly did she witness after the camera stopped? Her non-disclosure locks remain intact for now. Longtime viewers who survived the great drink gate of Season 4 remember Kody's fondness for coded language. But this particular phrase strikes a darker chord because the term carries specific baggage inside fundamentalist circles. You guys can act like it's the world's business all you want. We're just having some fun. No, we just crossed the line. Former AUB members writing under pen names explain that leaders classify premarital intimate acts as spiritual trespass, a transgression potentially triggering months of probation, tithing surcharges, or, in rare cases, a temporary loss of priesthood authority. One ex-bishop's daughter blogging from St. George says her father used to lecture teens about touches that chain your eternal progression. So when Kody blurted that he once danced on the naughty side, network attorneys likely heard subtext heavier than playful rebellion. If he implied more than casual contact, especially if any encounter overlapped with missionary service or temple recommend interviews, critics could argue he misrepresented worthiness during courtship or sealing ceremonies. Such an allegation, even 30 years old, would complicate TLC's sanitized narrative of a wholesome spiritual journey gone sideways only after jealousy set in. Worse, if Kody's quip hinted at same-gender experimentation as some unverified chatter claims, the backlash from conservative viewers might dwarf previous controversies. Privately, sources allege producers feared the line would unlock a Pandora's box of doctrinal debate they were ill-equipped to moderate on camera. The show has tiptoed around theology for a decade, preferring birthday cupcakes to priesthood councils. Airing Kody's fragment could have forced TLC to explain why a man disciplined for perceived immorality still married 3 additional wives under church oversight, opening every wedding flashback to newfound scrutiny. Better, the executives decided, to cauterize the sentence and pray audiences focused on Tool and Tears instead. Yet, erasure backfired. If he's going to hide the college experience, we've all seen their engagement photos, and I'm just automatically think, I wonder how close they got before they were married. Older fans, many lifelong church women themselves, know that silence around morality discipline is rarely benign. They began combing memoirs, archived sermons, even dusty missionary newsletters for clues. One retired Relief Society president in Mesa insists she located a vague but suggestive entry referencing Elder B delayed in priesthood advancement 1986, though no official confirmation exists. Each rumor fuels the next, and still Kody refuses to clarify. By yanking 5 words from the episode, TLC may have written an encyclopedia of speculation, one that now threatens to rewrite the Brown timeline the network spent 19 seasons protecting. Editors gambled viewers would swallow the quick spackle job, but the internet's memory is elephant strong, and by Friday night, a side-by-side video comparison looped across social feeds. One half showed the televised jump cut, the other, allegedly sourced from an unencrypted satellite feed archived by a hobbyist in Phoenix, captured the raw 30 seconds that never aired. The clip, still unverified but spreading like wild sagebrush, depicts Kody pausing after the fateful phrase, glancing at someone off set, then adding, "I was counseled but kept the calling." Makes you wonder how many bishops bend the rules when charisma pays the bills. The sentence is barely out when a muffled voice barks, "Hold." The screen goes black, and time code burns 12 seconds of silence. If genuine, the remark suggests Kody once faced church discipline yet retained leadership perks, an implication that could ignite every watchdog blog from Provo to Salt Lake. Well, I loved our conversation about testing the boundaries. No, we're not talking about my personal intimate experiences. No, come on. That was crossing the line.
Because what if this slow connection was actually a fast track to control, hidden in plain sight all along? If the timeline felt suspicious before, this next twist might send chills down your spine. According to unverified accounts circulating among production-adjacent insiders, Robyn's children were already calling Kody Dad well before their spiritual wedding in late 2010. That may not sound scandalous at first glance, until you remember that the Brown family had always emphasized gradual introductions, careful blending, and respect for existing parental ties. But in this case, the pace allegedly wasn't slow at all. It was accelerated behind closed doors, with insiders whispering that Kody was acting like a stepfather within weeks of their first meeting. Sources claim that in the months leading up to the wedding, Robyn and her kids began spending more time off-camera with Kody than any other branch of the family. Weekend visits turned into overnight stays, and some production crew reportedly raised concerns about how quickly the dynamic was shifting. One former assistant allegedly told a fan blog, "It felt like we were watching a family already in motion, not one forming." And yet, on air, viewers saw only polite distance and a gentle connection, a carefully edited slow dance that gave the illusion of deliberation. That illusion, Janelle now hints, was never quite real. Her recent comments, particularly the part where she confessed that a long, drawn-out period of getting to know him would have changed her decision entirely, gained new weight in this light. Because if Robyn's kids had already bonded with Kody, if the emotional ties had been fast-tracked under the radar, then the extended development wasn't a romance. It was a strategy, one that made Robyn and her children indispensable before the other wives even had time to question the closeness. Even more telling, some fans allege they've spotted early footage where Robyn's youngest slips and refers to Kody as dad before the wedding. Clips TLC may have quietly trimmed from later cuts. There's no official confirmation, but once again, the pattern is there. The timeline doesn't match the story we were told. And as each thread gets tugged, it becomes clearer that this wasn't just a different love story, it might have been a fully orchestrated takeover. And the final piece of that puzzle is the way it all began, because if what Janelle says is true, then the ending we got was written into the opening scene. And that scene is about to be rewritten. Now, with Janelle's words echoing louder than ever, the entire origin story of Robyn and Kody's too-long connection starts to feel less like a dream and more like a blueprint, one meticulously drawn before the cameras ever started rolling. If Robyn received a year of getting to know Kody, private time, and emotional anchoring before being woven into the family, then that wasn't just romance. It was a quiet restructuring, a shift in power, a subtle but seismic transfer of Kody's focus, affection, and authority into one household before the rest even realized what was happening. Looking back, it's all there. The prolonged connection that broke the family's norm, the edited footage that smoothed over tension, the early financial accommodations, the rapid integration of children, and the quiet withdrawals of the other wives who realized too late that the rules had changed, and they hadn't been consulted. It wasn't that Robyn became the favorite, it's that the game was seemingly redesigned to ensure she would be. And now, over a decade later, Janelle is daring to say it aloud. Not in anger, but in clarity. Not to tear Robyn down, but to finally be honest about what all those subtle shifts added up to. The extended connection wasn't a romance for the ages. It was, as Janelle puts it, not appropriate. And that phrase, so measured, so careful, is the thread that unravels everything. Because if one wife had seen that same side of Kody for a year, she might have walked away. Which means perhaps the rest didn't stay because they loved him more. They stayed because they never got to truly see him at all. And that's the heartbreak, that what was sold as sacred might have been strategic, that what looked like love could have been leverage, and that the first cracks in the Brown family weren't born in the final season, they were laced into the very foundation. So now we ask you, was Robyn's year-long connection with Kody a sign of true love, or the earliest clue that something was deeply off? And if Janelle is only speaking now, what else still hasn't been said? Be sure to like, subscribe, and stick around. The next video on your screen is waiting, and trust me, you won't believe what's coming next.